guys, it's Kelly. For those of you who don't know me, as I said, my name is Kelly. I am on YouTube as Serendipity X, and I am vlogging my journey to and beyond a gastric bypass. Today is the 8th of September. I had my surgery on the 8th of August. So technically it is 1 month today since my surgery. But it's all weird because of dates and stuff. It's actually 4 weeks and 3 days since my surgery. I had it on Tuesday the 8th of August, as I said. I did try to do a marathon recording session earlier, or like sometime last month in August, and my phone ran out of space for my last video, which was week 1, and it's run out of space twice already today, so I'm really hoping that this one works. So this video will be about my week 1 experience. So if you haven't watched my videos before, please go and watch them, which will bring you up to date with everything. So week 1 for me was a mixed bag. So the first night after my surgery, I was on a ward, even though I went private. My understanding is that that's the same for everybody, because they do your obs and they like to kind of have you all together so that if there's any problems, they're like on it quickly. So my first night was quite uncomfortable. As I said in my surgery day video, I woke up with a bit of gas pain, like around my diaphragm sort of area. And it wasn't excruciatingly painful, but it was just uncomfortable, and it felt exactly as it was, like someone had blown gas into my stomach. And not to be too graphic, I really felt like I needed to fart, but it just wasn't coming out. So I was woken by the nurse on the Wednesday morning. She came in to do the anticoagulant jab, which they give you just to stop blood clots. So she came in to do that like 5 o'clock in the morning and do my obs, and she said everything was fine and I could go to my room. So I went to my room, got into bed and slept for a couple of hours, and then my other half rang me when he was on his way to work, and just like to see if I was okay. And then it was a bit weird. So like the first night, the Tuesday night into the Wednesday, I'd sleep for a couple of hours, then I'd be awake for a little while, then I'd sleep for a couple of hours, then I'd be awake for a little while. And it was like that, excuse me, through part of Wednesday. And then one of my lovely friends came to see me, and God bless her, it must have been the most boring person in the world, because I just kept falling asleep. It's like I had narcolepsy. I'd literally just be sitting there and we'd be chatting, and then the next thing I'd wake up and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So be prepared to be a little bit out of it. Again, not everybody's the same, so you might not feel that way. But I was quite out of it on day 1. So before my friend, who is Jess, who watches my videos, hi Jess, before she came to see me, I had a shower. I was told I had splash-proof dressings on my incisions and to try not to get them wet. How do you have a shower without getting your like midsection wet? How the hell are you supposed to do that? So I basically just ignored that and had a shower, because I just felt a bit minging, like I'd been laying in bed like a vegetable for 24 hours and I hadn't really done much, but still felt like I stank. So I had a shower and put my maxi dress on that I was going to go home in. Now I was told that I'd be staying for 2 nights. I didn't want to stay for 2 nights. I don't like hospitals. I like my own bed. I missed my animals. I missed my partner. I missed my house, my bed, my pillows, all of that. So I basically woke up on Wednesday morning with the opinion that I was going home that day. So I made sure I was getting up and moving around. Like I said, I got up, had a shower, got myself dressed, did all that malarkey on my own without the help of a nurse. And then Jess arrived. And God bless her, she came with magazines and colouring book and a lovely candle for me to burn for my recuperation. And it was all very lovely. Weather was shit, pissing it down with rain. Pardon my French, sorry, I shouldn't swear. So, as I said, I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they bought me some lunch. I think it was about 12 o'clock. And I'd asked for... I can't remember what I asked for. I think it was chicken soup or something like that. I can't remember. It was that amazing. But it was... I just didn't like it. Like, it was... I had the operation privately, but it was NHS food, and I know that sounds really shit, and I love the NHS, and I fully support the doctors, nurses, all of it. I think it's an incredible institution, but the food is poo, and I cook most meals from scratch, and it just wasn't very nice. It was like, if it was soup, which I'm pretty sure it was, I know that sounds really poo, but I remember it being really thin and like really... I've got my nails back, by the way. Oh, I've missed them. I remember it just not being very appetising, and considering the fact that someone had just been wiggling around with my insides, just didn't appeal. But I had some of it. I did have some of it. They also bought me a strawberry jelly, which was like the strawberry jelly that you get at school, which just tasted like plastic. Didn't taste like strawberries. It just didn't look appetising, nothing. So I had a little bit of that. And then I was kind of picking at it, and it was just sitting there. And then they came by at one point and said, like, they were going to take the meal away, which was the pooey chicken soup. And said that they could leave the jelly for a bit longer. I was like, oh yeah, great, thanks. I said, yeah, we'll leave it. I said, I'll try and eat some more of it. I think I had another spoonful or two. But literally, probably in total, I had 2 or 3 teaspoons of the jelly and maybe half of the chicken water that they bought me. And I didn't feel full, but I wasn't bothered about it either. So I wasn't interested in it, to be quite honest. So then I started bugging the nurses about going home, and she said, the nurse, who wasn't as nice as the nurses that I'd had the day before, Susie and Pam, long live Susie and Pam, loved them. So she wasn't that great, and I think I asked about 4 times before she was like, oh, well, I'll check with Mr. Pring and see if he'll let you go home. And I'm thinking, well, I've asked you this many times, like, why haven't you already bloody done that? And Pring said to me anyway, if you feel like you want to go home, I won't make you stay. He'd already said that to me before. So she phoned Pring and she said, like, he's happy for you to go home, so now I just need to organise your medication. Well, that was it. I was like, poop off a shovel. I like marched back to my room, started throwing things in my bag. Jess, bless her, was like, stop, slow down, sit down, I'll do it. I'm like, no, it's fine. Throwing things in my bag, popping in the bathroom, checking I've got everything, chucking it. Well, that flipping hell. A couple of minutes of like activity, I was knackered. I think, if I remember rightly, just correct me if I'm wrong, I think I had to have a sit down from packing a blooming hospital bag. So I did that, but I was so excited to go home, so excited. So the plan had always been that my mummy was going to come and take me home, but Jess, because she's so lovely, she was there and she was like, oh, don't be silly. I'll take you home, it's really not a problem. So we hopped in the car. I had a blanket, like I put a blanket like down my front across the under the seatbelt, and that was a good thing to do. That felt comfortable. And the journey home was quite difficult. Again, I was just uncomfortable and I felt a bit queasy at one point. I wasn't actually sick, but I did feel queasy. And bless her, Jess was like, I'm sorry, I can't stop the pothole. I'm like, no, it's fine. I was like, just get me home. So we got home and I was fine. And then, like I said, I wasn't sick. I was just a bit uncomfortable. And then I literally walked in the door. Jess stayed for a quick drink. And then I just said, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to go to bed. I fell asleep in the car on the journey home. And I'd been asleep all, like, in and out all day. So Wednesday night was really bad. For like the uncomfortableness of the gas pain. It wasn't, I say it was really bad. It was similar to Tuesday night. So I'd sleep for a couple of hours. I'd be awake for a couple of hours. I'd sleep for a couple of hours. I'd be awake for a couple of hours, which was really frustrating. And also I did a bad. So every time I woke up, I made myself get up and walk around because I was terrified of blood clots. And I made myself have a drink because they said you really need to get your, bring your fluids up. So I was like, okay, fine. So I had a sip of squash and it was in my mouth as I laid down, which I've been known to do before. But it wasn't in my pouch when I laid down. So within 5 or 10 seconds of laying down, I knew it was coming back up. So it did. And it wasn't great. It didn't hurt. It was just not great. It just came out. And it comes, and you hear people talk about foamies, and it was like that. So that was Wednesday night. Thursday, again, in and out of sleep all day long. My other half went to work. No one came to see me Thursday, which was fine. I was in and out of sleep all day long. Again, I'd sleep for a couple of hours. I'd be awake. Thursday, I think I was the most tired. I'd be asleep for a couple of hours, then I'd be awake for like half an hour. Then I'd go back to sleep, and then I'd be awake for a couple of hours. And I was just in and out like that. Friday, I woke up and I didn't feel so tired anymore. And I was laying in bed and I was really relaxed and I was very calm and I was just watching TV and I just suddenly had this urge to go out and go for a walk. So I did. I got myself up, I got myself dressed, and I just took a really slow stroll into town, which is, for me, it's about 3/4 of a mile from my house. And then I took a little wander around town, went and bought myself some new shoes, went and bought myself some new earrings, and then walked home, which was fine until I was literally a couple of 100 yards from my front door, and this wave of exhaustion just hit me, and I was really, really tired. So I just took a really slow wander to my front door, and then I just went and got back into bed and just stayed there. And then Saturday I was up and I went to my friend's house. We did just stay at hers, so we went out and about. So I was there for, I think I was there for about 6 hours, maybe 7 hours. And we were just playing computer games and just kind of vegging in the living room, and I was telling her about my surgery. She came to see me on surgery day. But we were just I talked to her every day, but we were just kind of catching up and talking a bit more about it. So that was a really nice, relaxed day. Sunday, I can't remember if I did anything. I don't think I did. I probably just spent the day in bed. Yeah, I did. I just spent the day chilling in bed. And Monday, I was back to work. So work for me is a bit different because I work from home. and I have an office job, so it's not like I had to get up at the crack of dawn to get ready for work, drive to work or whatever. So I was just back at my desk, and I'd already agreed with my manager that I would work reduced hours for the first week I was back, which I needed. I did find after a couple of hours of work on Monday, I was ready for a lie down, and at lunchtime every day I was going and having a lie down for 2, sometimes 3 hours. And that was week 1. There was a lot of sleep. Food-wise, that would help, wouldn't it? Let's talk about food. See, it doesn't even enter into my brain anymore. It's so weird, guys. It's so weird. I used to obsess about food. Like, I'd eat breakfast and then I'd be immediately thinking, what am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for dinner? What am I going to have tomorrow? What am I going to have next week? What nice things have I got in the house? What treats are there for me? Doesn't even occur to me anymore. It's weird and it's amazing. It's so amazing. So, food-wise, there was a lot of soup. A lot of soup. I made some soups myself and froze them. So there was a lot of that. There were vegetable-based soups with some chicken in, blended. So they're very smushy. They're like baby food consistency. There was a lot of that. There was a fair bit of jelly for fluid, because that's classed as a clear liquid. So I was having maybe like a jelly a day, just a little pot that you get from Tesco that you chuck in a kid's lunchbox. There was a lot of that. And I bought some, sorry if I'm about to butcher this word, I think it's pronounced bouillon, but I'm not sure. Which you can make, which is kind of like a cup of soup, but a bit tastier and a bit nicer. So I had that a few times. And a lot of squash. I found that water didn't sit very well. I don't know why. I just preferred squash, which I'd spent a long time training myself to stop drinking squash and start drinking water. So at some point I'm going to have to train myself to do that again, because I don't want to drink squash all the time, because even though it's no added sugar, it's full of crap and they put aspartame in it and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to give myself dementia or gut rot. So at some point I shall move myself back to just water. But some days I'd have a meal or two, and with the amount I slept, it was hard to try to have more. But I'm getting, I'll do a week 2 to 4, but I'm getting now to the point where I'm like quite comfortable with 3 meals a day. But at first, don't push yourself. You will know what's right for you, and you will know when it's time to stop. Again, that's another thing I can't explain. I used to pile my plate high, and I used to force myself to finish it. I could literally feel like I was going to heave, and I'd get up, walk around for a minute or whatever, and then I would just go back to the meal and just keep shoveling food into my face. But now I'll be taking or drinking or eating, however you want to put it, 120 ml of soup, and I'll stop. There'll just be this thing in my brain that will just go, no, you're done, you don't need any more. And I'll stop. And I just can't explain it. That switch never used to be there, but suddenly Pring's gone in, noodled about with my insides a bit, and some switch in my brain has gone ping. So we'll take that. Week 1, I lost 10 pounds, which, I mean, dudes, what can you say to that? And look, I've been holding the camera at a good angle. There's still a little bit of a chins there, but it's more a ch than a chin. So, as I said, I have lost more weight since then, which I think I've lost 2 stone from my face. which was a joke I made with my WLS pals a couple of weeks ago, because everyone was amazed at how much my face has changed, and I am too. It's incredible. I will do videos from weeks 2 to 4 where I'll talk more about food and weight loss and stuff, and I've had a couple of events in that time. We had a family barbecue and I went out for my mother's birthday, so there were a few things that I knew were going to be challenging, and they were challenging for various different reasons, but I'll talk about that in my next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry about my irritating voice and my face. You can so tell I don't have Botox. Look at these. Cheese grater wrinkles. Ha! Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, your experience of your first week post-surgery, please share them down below. I am a real advocate of us talking about our experiences and us sharing both positive and negatives, because people who are considering bariatric surgery need to be aware of both the positives and the negatives. So please do share down below, and if you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to ask. I love talking about this because it's been such an amazing experience for me so far. Not without its challenges, but it has been amazing. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you all have a lovely day. Today's Friday. I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.